time for illegal ham in the face. But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Illegal Ham to the Face. I am that fat guy, Jared Fatty Bates. Welcome in under our show on Network 216. Our show is brought to you by Harold Keel and Lake Erie APA, right there. Also, City Dogs Cleveland, right there. We do have a new puppy here tonight for our trivia, who is now the new longest resident after Bacardi got adopted last weekend. Tonight's show, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some Cavs that are on fire right now. We are going to talk Browns news that has happened, especially with the trade deadline and everything that's going on. And then also we're going to get into crock-pot foods and soups tonight. It's starting to get that fall weather, even though it does not feel like it's fall outside, especially when it's 81 degrees here in Cleveland right now. I think they forgot about our fall weather here. And then we are going to finish it up with our top three confidence. Going to do your confidence rank them tonight between the Browns head coach, GM, and ownership, and how confident we feel about those three and where we are going to rank them from most confident to least confident. So stay tuned for that. Big Bri will be in here in a little bit. He had a dinner for his mom's birthday tonight, so he'll be here shortly. Justin and I already did Indian Summer I can't say it yet. Indian Summer my Batukas. It's been an Indian summer pretty much all summer. But hopefully it'll cool off here a little bit because fat guy needs some hoodie weather back again. Not t-shirt weather. Hoodie and short weather. James, what is going on? Thank you for joining us tonight. Justin, as always, thank you for joining tonight. I saw your comment earlier up there at the top, and I giggled a little bit. I loved it. But anybody that wants to hop in here on the show, just hop in here in the comments. Also, please go give us a like, subscribe, all that on all of our socials at Ham Illegal and at Network_216. We would greatly appreciate it. As he's done, I'm ready for snow too, Justin. Not going to lie, I'm ready for snow too. And let's bring in, here he is. What's going on, big fella?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Fantastic. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, it is. It was fantastic outside today, wasn't it? I mean, what'd you get into today? Little ice cream sales? A little
No, I was down in Mansfield today, down towards Mount Gilead. I think I got as far south as there, and then up to Ashland. So nice. Then home late, and we went to. Sorry to everybody out there for delaying the show. Just got back from a birthday dinner for my mom. You know, I think I shouted it out maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. She was in Seattle, so we hadn't gotten a chance to celebrate her birthday. So we went to Longhorn. So just getting back from there, nice and full. Doing great.
You got a burger, didn't you?
No, don't get a burger from there.
You got ribs?
Don't get ribs.
You don't get a steak. I know you don't get a steak.
I do not get a steak. No, Parmesan crusted chicken is to die for. It is some of the best, like, just chicken and just a piece of chicken. It's some of the juiciest, best chicken you'll ever have. So, yeah, if you haven't had it, strongly recommend. I mean, if you're a steak person and you only get steak from a steakhouse, then that's one thing. But for something new, yeah, strongly recommend the Parmesan crusted chicken from Longhorn.
Nice. Guess what I did today?
Okay, let me have it.
Well, you know where I work at. I got to see your cousin today.
Oh, okay. What's he sniffing around there for?
Up close and personal.
Uh-oh, what does that mean?
Oh, you know what that means. It was a box truck with a chipper and chainsaws and everything else.
Oh,
That was my day today.
nice. I just saw him on Saturday. His parents moved up here. I'm sure he told you all about it.
No, he did not. He told me about
no?
his trip to Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
With Riz and his little one-liner joke to Riz when they landed the plane.
I don't know if I heard that one.
He said when they landed the plane, Riz stood up and said touchdown, and he yelled from the back of the plane, "But wait, there's a holding."
Not bad. Especially after that game. Yeah, that was the Nick Harris holding call that could have turned our whole season around had we got that one back.
Yeah, Justin said, how do you pronounce Parmesan? Parmesan or Parmesan?
Parmesan, I guess.
That's
maybe it's an Italian thing to say it different. I don't know.
I think so.
Not Italian.
Like two fingers. We got to talk to old Ron about that. That's who we got to talk
about.
Oh,
yeah. He's definitely the official Italian for all things Italy. Or
speaking
Italian
of
food.
The other Italian, I need to remind you once again, Hershey's with almonds. It's 2 bars now. If I
haven't lost yet,
Bri, you might as well just.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I think until they hit 11 losses, that's when I officially lose.
Okay, all right. You don't think that's going to happen?
It's looking that way, but nothing's official right now. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be on you for eternity until I see him again to give him that one. I don't even know where the hell they sell those. Do they still sell Hershey bars?
He said they have them at Mark's. Yes.
Of course he knows that.
Oh, yeah. He's like, he goes there in the candy aisle at Mark's, and he wants the ones with almonds.
I think I still owe him one from like a decade ago, too.
I know.
Can't remember.
That one.
Probably a lost Browns bet.
So he said he wants one, and then if I get those from you, then I get the second one. So,
okay.
Watch Family Guy with Stewie and Brian. I might show up at your house with a baseball bat.
Bring it on. Now that I think about it, I think I did pay him, but it probably took a couple years for me to pay the last one. But usually I'm good at paying my bets.
I just love it hearing it from him. He's like, "Hey, you tell that big fellow of yours when you talk to him next, he still owes me Hershey's." And I'm like, "Dom, that's between you two. I'll relay the message, but that's between you two."
Yeah, we'll see. 7 wins. I need 7 wins.
What?
Fingers crossed.
After what I saw Sunday, I don't know if that's going to fucking happen.
Almost a third of the way there, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. It only took us 9 games to get there. All right, Brian. You got any shout outs this week besides Longhorn?
Yeah, let me shout out. I did go to the game this week, which you're welcome. You can blame me for a terrible performance. I was thinking, so I went to 2 games last year. This is the 1 game this year. Last year I went to the Ravens game. We put up 3 points, and I went up to the Steelers game, which we put up 10 and won. And then this game we put up 10. So I'm the jinx on offense. You can blame me, but yeah, my brother and my uncle came in town from Chicago, and then we went with my cousin who lives over there in Twinsburg, or Hudson, I guess. So 4 of us had a great time. It was fantastic weather, and we had a few things to cheer about in the first half, but after halftime, it was kind of a somber mood. So, yeah, finished the night off with some barbecue out at Mabel's, and that was about it.
Oh, that's some good stuff. Did you get the beef ribs?
No, we got a little bit of brisket. We got some kielbasa, and we got some pulled pork.
That kielbasa is so good.
Kielbasa was probably my favorite. Yeah,
so good.
I agree.
I got some. Hey, speaking of our Fat Boy Tuesday, I got some kielbasa soup going downstairs. A little kielbasa, some cabbage, taters.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Now you're talking.
got that simmering.
I don't know if it's cold enough for soup.
Well, it is in this house because I bought stuff for soup thinking that it might get cold enough, and guess what? We're having soup.
I guess nothing to apologize for there.
No. All right, Bri. Let's get into our show. First off, Justin said he has 7 wins now. He is 7-2. Let's get to our Illegal Ham the Face Fantasy Football League update real quick because we do have a new puppy tonight from City for trivia. It is my turn for trivia. But here we go with the Illegal Ham the Face Fantasy Football League update. Starting out, keep Cleveland in Cleveland. I believe that's what it is because I can't read all of it yet. Beat Runner 147-132. Dog Pound beat Harold Keel 109-105. Big Bride took down at 115-108. Portage County Prostitutes beat Team Big Meat 148-91. And Team Big Rod beat Always Next Year 118-101. And then the game of the week, my Knicks in a Box beat up on our fantasy football champion, Phil McCracken, 121-112. Our leaders in the clubhouse right now. Keep Cleveland in Cleveland, 7-2. Portage County Prostitutes, 7-2. My Knicks in the Box, 6-3. And Dog Pound Craig Foster, 6-3. With a slew of people at 5-4 and 4-5. It's going to come down to the nitty-gritty here in the Illegal Ham to the Face Fantasy Football League. All right, catch my breath after that one, Bri.
Slow it down now. Have a drink.
All right, I gotta hold on. I got some bullet tonight after this week.
Ooh, okay.
Little rye. Tastes good.
It's been a while since I've had that. It's good stuff, though. So I think, so what, we got, 5 weeks left till playoffs or something like that, and then top six teams make it. So come down to the wire, I'm thinking.
Yes, it will.
I'd say the guys sitting at 7-2 are sitting pretty, but you never know. One big injury in fantasy football, you get one stud go down.
Patrick Mahomes.
That's it.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes is nothing this year. Mahomes nothing special. Who's good though?
Kareem Hunt is good. Glad we got rid of him and didn't re-sign him.
Yeah, twisting the knife there.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Well, let's do our trivia, Brian, and then we'll get into our Cleveland headlines and stuff. All right. So our trivia is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland, and it is Fatty's turn for trivia tonight. And Brian, we're going to get a little Cavs trivia tonight. Here we go. And our dog of the week from City Dogs Cleveland is Aslan. I hope that's what she named, but yes, beautiful dog here. Little bully mix from City Dogs Cleveland. It was a playful puppy. He is the longest resident now at City Dogs Cleveland. Looks just like Bacardi. Like when she sent me the pictures, I'm like, crap, we got Bacardi again? I thought we just got done with Bacardi. So whatever you can do to help out City Dogs Cleveland, if you want to go to the games, section 121, go to their Facebook page, City Dogs Cleveland. If you want to check out a city dog, if you want to volunteer, contact City Dogs Cleveland on all their socials at City Dogs CLE. Donate and adopt, please. And here is their longest resident, Ashlyn. Am I pronouncing that right? I feel like I'm saying like Ashley. I don't know. And Justin's chomping in on Hunt stuff now. So here we go. Just digging the knife in.
I was hoping you were done talking the Browns by the time I got on here. We could just talk Cavs.
Well, no, I got some questions I got to ask you, Brian, about your fanhood coming
up.
I'll be ready. So the Cavs trivia I have for you tonight, Brian, is last night was a magical night for your Cleveland Cavaliers. Starting the season 8-0 and on fire. Brian, they tied a franchise record at 8-0. What year did the Cleveland Cavaliers go 8-0 to tie the 2024 Cleveland Cavaliers?
Okay. I think I can get in the ballpark. We'll see if I can get the You're correct.
All right. Chris isn't here yet, but we're going to bump back Cleveland headline news and get into some fun stuff, Brian. At least, should we do the Browns first and then Cavs, like bring everybody down and then bring them up? Or should we just bring them up and then they could turn off when we start talking Browns?
Yeah. Let's get into the Cavs and give them their due.
All right, here we go. All right, Justin took a stab at it, and he did not get it. So, Brian, I'll give you one right now. 1992 is not the year.
No, I wasn't too close to that.
Okay. So, tonight, Brian, Cavs are 8-0. I watched the entire game last night. Man, what a game. What a finish. Darius Garland going off for 40 points. This team is fun to watch because they actually run the floor now. You don't have a head coach, yelling at the refs all the time. And Bri, I never thought, and I should have expected some kind of change with the coaching change and everything else. I didn't know it was going to be like a complete 180 of a team. It feels like already. Like they are up and down the court. It's a whole different offense they're running now. Evan Mobley is running the court from end to end and dunking it. We see that maybe twice a year last year. Now we've seen it like 3 times in a matter of a week. Like, I don't know what to do with going on here. Does this coaching change, Bri? Did it really elevate everybody else on this team? Because like Darius Garland's back to all-star form. Like we were talking about, get him out of here. We don't want him here. He scored 40 points last night. 6 assists. A couple of his assists were amazing. Like this team has gelled together and come together, and they are having a blast together. And I'm loving every bit of, especially with the bench being as deep it is. But did the coach really change that much of this team? Because it's the same exact team, Brian.
Through 8 games, it did. 3 regular season games, it absolutely did. And only time will tell if it has the same effect through the entire year and into the playoffs. I can't say right now whether it does, but I kind of liken it to starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Like you come out, teams don't really know exactly what to expect from you, so you're going to take some teams by surprise. And I don't know the X's and O's as well as maybe some guys do that watch every game. So I couldn't tell you exactly what they're doing that's different from last year, but whatever they're doing is working, and it's working well, and everything's turning up wine and gold, and, we're winning the close games. And like you never have to apologize for winning, but if you're being a realist, there's going to be a week where we lose 2 or 3 games that we're in it till the end, and a shot doesn't go our way or a call doesn't go our way at the end, and the other team wins. And so, does that mean we're a worse team for that week than we've been through the first 8 games? Probably not. But yeah, one thing that I think I can take away from the Cavs over the first 8 weeks is, I don't know if they made a point of starting off really hot, and they wanted to, like, sometimes you wonder, did the front office and the coaching staff really want to prove their point that this works? And so they're going all in for like the first month, 2 months. Like how much emphasis do they put on the regular season? Like we've seen, there's plenty of teams that don't put much emphasis on the regular season. I mean, just flat out. Now, the Cavs clearly do, at least for the first 8 games, maybe for the first month. It's very important for them to put their best foot forward. And so, you're seeing, like, has anybody from the Big Four missed a game? Do you know?
No, not offhand. No. Everybody played.
So yeah. So they're not taking veteran days off. They're not doing what Giannis is doing. They're not doing what Embiid is doing. And they're young. Right now they don't need to do it. But I mean, eventually the question will be asked, is it more important for them to win in the regular season and win in November, or is it more important for them to win in April? And it's something I can't answer right now. Does this eventually catch up to them? This going all in on the regular season. I don't know.
What I'm like seeing so far right now, Bri, is it's not just Donovan Mitchell. During the playoffs, it was pretty much Donovan Mitchell. Towards the end of the season, it was Donovan Mitchell to get us where we were at in seed. And right now, it's a mixture of everybody. Like, there was a game where Sam Merrill went off, game where LeVert went off. There was a game the one game that I got really excited about, I think it was the Knicks game. Like 6 of their starters were all in double figures. Like it was just everybody was scoring. It wasn't just, somebody scoring 30. It was 20 here, 18 here, 20 here. So like they're getting the whole team involved. And what I kind of like the most about it is Mitchell is kind of taking a step back right now. Like he could turn on whatever he wants to turn on, do it, Donovan Mitchell stuff. But he's letting his team kind of involve right now, going, all right, guys, got a new coach here. I don't need to take over everything. Let's get this feeling out process done where everybody else can shoot and have the ball, facilitate the ball for right now. And if you need me to turn it on, I'll take over and turn it on. But for right now, you guys are doing great. I'm getting you guys confidence, getting you guys built up, getting everything ready. It feels like he's taking that leadership role.
Yeah, and we're better off as a team where he's not, Superman to the rescue like LeBron used to do. And LeBron would do the same thing in the regular season, especially the beginning of the regular season. He tried to get other guys involved. He tried to get their confidence up. And that's the one thing that you do hope can carry on is as we're playing these close games. And Darius Garland is playing a lot better than he did last year, at least at the beginning. Remember at the beginning of the year last year, we had the big 4 healthy, and we went like 500 through the first month or month and a half or whatever. So, yeah, you get these guys' confidence going because I'm sure they start questioning, like, does this really work? In whether it's JB, the difference between JB and Atkinson, maybe it's just guys just feeling themselves a little bit more, getting that confidence up. It just, I don't know what it is, but, I know it's a lot of fun to watch. And I just hope that it continues because, let's be honest, if they go on a 3-10 spurt in March, it's not really going to matter what we do in November, but we're stacking wins. We're getting us up there. We're in the conversation for top 2, top 3 seed for the East. We're miles, it feels like, ahead of Milwaukee and the 76ers. So, at least from that standpoint, we're several games ahead of them. So if we just continue with being smart about minutes and getting these guys' confidence up, then hopefully we're setting ourselves up for success in the postseason, because I think that's what most of us really are concerned the most about is what do we do when it really matters. But what you do now, that winning mentality, that culture that you're building, and confidence in these secondary players like Mobley and like Garden, if they can just keep that up, that's huge.
Yeah, like Mobley looks like a totally different person now playing basketball. It's crazy to see because last year he was kind of timid of taking certain shots and stuff like that. Now, if he gets wide open on a 3, he's letting it go. And then also, probably running the court. Like we would see him come down and then get in the post. Now he's running the court, dunking on people, and just plus the defense. Him and Jared Allen on defense are just that block from Jared Allen last night on Dame was absolutely amazing. And I loved every minute of it. I was like, oh, snap. He got all ball on that one. You can't hide that one. But even just like the fun passes now with Garland, like that pass to Allen there at the end of the game to win the game last night was just, I couldn't believe he actually got the pass off to begin with. But then it was just a perfect pass to Allen, dunk, you're up 5 points at that point in time. And then, just call it. I do know a lot of people were pissed off at the last second 3-pointer from Milwaukee that killed the over-under.
It happens. That's why betting is a fickle thing to do.
I know.
You can do everything right, and then the unexplainable happens at the end, and you're kicking yourself.
Yeah, I know. Oh God, the cat's up here. He's an asshole, Bri. He's staring at me too. All right. So you think that the other thing is the national media is actually getting behind the Cavs now. A lot of national guys are like, watch out for this team. This is going to be a good team. Do you think it? We know Boston's a juggernaut, right? We really do. But you think that now? I know it's early, way too early. But are we the second team in the East right now, behind Boston?
Well, you kind of answered it in a couple different ways, and I kind of agree with you. Are we second team in the East right now? Yes. Is it way too early? Yes. It's the same thing as in a lot of sports. Like teams go on hot stretches in the regular season all the time, and nobody's going to really say you're the second contender until you prove it in the playoffs. So, like, unless we're winning 65, 70 games this year, we're probably most people are going to think of us as the third to sixth best team in the East. So until we change that, and unfortunately, I mean, you're allowed to get excited about the regular season. I'm not telling you not to, but in the back of my head, I'm always thinking like, yeah, I mean, there's 82 games. You just don't know everyone's effort level every single game. So, like I said last week, I prefer to win them all, and that's what they're doing. So they're doing everything I can ask for them, but it's just I still am hesitant to fully buy in and saying, yeah, they're right there with the Celtics, because you just got to see it when the games mean the most.
All right, Bri. It's time to turn the page.
Oh boy.
No, I know. I don't even want to talk about it, Bri. I sat here and watched that entire game Sunday, and I'm like, and the kids are like, Dad, you all right? I'm like, no, I am not all right. We finally got to see Jameis for Jameis. I'm glad we got the win for Jim, because that looks like it's all gone. Jameis could have probably thrown 7 interceptions that game.
Again, for the second straight week.
Yeah. Defense gave up some very big plays, and not like little bit big plays, like back-breaking plays with blown coverages. Myles Garrett showed up. He showed up, got 3 sacks in the first half, and was on fire. And then once the defense did what they did, and it was just, how can I explain it? As a Browns fan, like, I feel like we're not allowed to have good things. And I put out on Twitter and everything, like, I'm starting to really do believe that we are seriously cursed. I believe this team is seriously cursed, because no matter how high hopes we have for a team coming in, especially no matter how much talent we have on this team, no matter what we do to try to fix this team, it never works, Bri. It never works. And then we go out there and watch the offense, who, Bri, can't run the goddamn ball. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They can't run the ball. There is nothing there in the run game at all. Chubb is not looking the greatest right now, but I don't even think it's Chubb's fault. You have your left tackle that you drafted 10th overall, not even on the field now. We have Dewan playing left tackle. You have JOK out on injured reserve. It's just like watching that game, Brian, was just painful, because you had hopes. Like, they got you hopes. It was like, oh yeah, we're there. We're going to get touchdown. We're going to get back in this game. Tip ball interception. It's all right, guys. It's all right. 3rd and 36. We got this. And touchdown. All right, guys. Well, can we at least try to get back? Oh, nope. Can't do that either. It was just that kind of game. And it's frustrating. So frustrating to watch this, because you had we both had high hopes this season that we were probably going to make the playoffs, that we were going to be in the top 2 in our conference or in our division. And now Pittsburgh is laughing at us at the top of the division. Like, what is wrong with our team, Bri?
Well, it's been the same story for how many games have we played? 9 games now, 2 and 7. So eight of the 9 games have been the same thing. There was one anomaly, and that was last week. And so we just got back to what our identity has been for the whole year. And, there's a lot of things to blame for it. If for whatever reason. Now, you do have to give the Chargers some credit because they do have Justin Herbert. And when you leave wide, now, give them credit or not, you leave wide receivers that wide open. Like just about 30 quarterbacks in the league can hit them for touchdowns. But to give them credit for their defense is very good. Now, our offense was also very bad. So when you have a defense that's very good, and you have an offense that's playing very bad and turning the ball over, that's how you get 3 points until garbage time when you get one more touchdown. So, I mean, it's what we've been this entire season. The blown coverages were kind of a shock a little bit just because I feel like we've been better. It kind of brought me back to, what was it, 2 years ago? The Jets game, I think it was the Jets we played week 2. And even like the first maybe 4 or 5 games, we just had blown coverages. Like guys weren't communicating. And that's exactly what it brought me back to. Like, how is that guy so wide open? You said 3rd and 36. Is that correct?
I don't think that's correct. I think it was like 30, 20 something, 21, 22.
Still, like, when you're there, you don't pay attention as much because it's not right in your face, like at the bottom of the line, 3rd and whatever. So I honestly didn't know. But yeah, there's no excuse for stuff like that. And I mean, for Denzel Ward to even be out there was just kind of a head scratcher. Like, what are you doing? This guy just had a concussion. Unless he didn't have one, I don't know.
Well, they said he passed concussion protocol. Everything else, he was cleared.
Yeah, but this is his 6th concussion. This is his 6th concussion. You're kind of, you're at the bottom of the league, basically. And you got your bye week, 1 week, ahead. And so what is he doing out there? Unless they thought like, hey, we need all hands on deck because we need to go on a run here, win 3 or 4 straight games. But even that, they're putting out like these mixed signals. Like, are you trying to win? Are you going for it? Or are you good with DTR being your backup? Are you good with trading Amari Cooper a couple weeks before the trade deadline? Like, I don't understand. Are you willing to try new things by having a new offensive play caller? Or do you want to stick to your guns? They're like all over the place, and it almost feels like there's no real sense of direction. And so even offensively, it was terrible. Defensively is terrible. Special teams, there's always 1 or 2 plays every single game that you're like, man, if that just would have went our way, maybe the game might have shifted in our direction, but it always goes against us. And so, like, it's hard to take real, solid, a great feeling out of these games because, like, I don't know if you'll ask me who the players of the game are for each side of the ball. Like, I don't know. Myles Garrett played great for like 6 plays, in a row, and he got like 3 sacks out of those 6 plays. It's unbelievable.
I do have to say though, Brian, I do have to say, Tillman so far, right now, is looking really good. Even after as bad as the game as it was the other day, he's actually looking pretty good. Like, it's like, okay, well, maybe we get some hope with Tillman. Maybe
there's certainly looks like there's something to build on for a second-year receiver who did nothing for the first year and a half. Like the 3 games that he's had have been pretty impressive for him to come out of nowhere. And yes, definitely gives you hope. He's got the NFL body. He seems to have his head screwed on right. He's not one of these diva wide receivers, so it gives you hope. But that's kind of all we have at this point. We're like an aging team that is getting paid a lot of money, and you look around and you're like, how many of these guys are here for the next 2 or 3 years? Like,
Brian,
I don't know.
Honestly, we'll talk trade deadline now. Zadarius Smith did get traded to the Lions. We sent Zadarius Smith and a 7th rounder for a 5th and a 6th rounder next year to the Detroit Lions. Also, Quentin Jefferson was released today on the defensive line. Brian, I honestly thought there was probably going to be 3 moves the Browns did today, and I thought they were going to build up. I thought there was untouchables today. Like, I thought Myles Garrett untouchable, Chubb untouchable, that kind of stuff. But like they were even floating around rumors on Sunday Night Football about David Njoku getting traded. Like, and it was just like, wow, okay, like what's going on here? Like, and like I even had Adam asked me today, would you trade Myles Garrett? Like, if somebody gave me a good enough thing for Myles Garrett, like a deal you cannot turn down, Myles, I'm sorry, bud. Like, you've been a backbone of this team, this culture, this everything else. But if I'm going to get, 2 first rounds and a second round out of you, because we're not going anywhere, Bri. Where are we going? There is no upside to where we're going right now. We are an older team now. We have to break down a little bit to build back up. You got Bitonio that might retire. You got Conklin up in age. You got Teller up in age now. So our offensive line is kind of, and then you have the defense, the back end of the defense with Juan Thornhill, and all of them are starting to get older. And it's like, where are we at with this team? Like, I don't want to completely go like this, gaslight it Hugh Jackson style and break it all the way down. But I think you can break it down enough and retool to build it back up again. I don't think we need to do the full implode of this whole team. We have parts and pieces here that we can build on, I believe. But do you think that they might implode this whole thing and start over again?
No, I don't. I'd be surprised. And I never really bought into the trading of Myles Garrett because you have to have some perspective. It's more than this year. If it was just this year, if he was signed through this year, the end of this year, then yeah, maybe you have those conversations. You're probably not getting a couple ones for him, but like Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, these guys are part of your franchise, and I mean, unless it's a Joe Thomas situation to where like you feel bad for him, like, hey, we suck. We're going to suck for the next couple years. Yeah, Bitonio. Hey, do you want to go somewhere and make a run? Yeah, sure. Right. I wouldn't have been surprised if maybe they had those conversations. Like, yeah, this could be Bitonio's last year. I think Rodney McLeod has said this is his last year. Maybe there just wasn't a whole lot of interest out there. But guys like that, you have conversations with them. Like, hey, but Myles Garrett's 28. He's got 5, maybe 4 or 5 good years left in him if he can stay healthy.
I get that, Brian. But with that, though, I mean, at that point in time, if you're doing this, Brian, we're looking for a quarterback next year, correct?
Correct. But let me cut you off before you finish your thought. I mean, teams in the last 2-3 years have shown how quickly you can turn it around. The Houston Texans, the Washington Commanders. You draft the right quarterback, you're in it the next year.
The Bears don't look horrible, Bri.
Bears,
and they're still in it. It's just, and I know you could draft the right quarterback to do it, but the thing is, though, is if you have the right coach and the right team to draft that quarterback, like it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, a lot of it is getting the quarterback right. Who's Dan Quinn? For the Commanders, he's nobody special. He's a retread a couple times over. He's nothing special. Now, I think down in who the heck is it down? D'Amico Ryans in Houston. I think he's a special head coach, but he's the head coach. He's not the offensive guy, and so he delegates to other guys. And Kingsbury in Washington has done a great job, and he's a guy who's been around the league for many years. So maybe you give him some credit for that. But yeah, we're not that far away. I know it seems bleak now, and I know at the beginning of the year I kind of painted a bleak picture to where if Deshaun doesn't work out, we are screwed. And I mean, we're still deep in the woods, but you get a couple guys, you make a couple changes here and there. I don't know. I'm not a salary cap expert. I don't know the type of hell that we're in when it comes to the salary cap. But I mean, just everything else. You need a couple guys. You still have a strong core with Garrett. I put JOK in there. Denzel, I would put him there, but he's with these concussions and everything. He's a couple hits away from. You can't count on him at all.
All right, so you're doing the core now. So we have Garrett, JOK, and what? Delpit as our core on defense.
I'd say Denzel. I'd say Delpit. They would tell you MJ Emerson, even though he's kind of having a tough year. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who else might.
No, the reason why I'm saying now, the defense. Okay, that's pretty good core for your defense. You got a cornerback, you got a safety, you got a linebacker, you got a defensive lineman. Plus, we got Mike Hall, and then our boy Mo, Big Mo, who loves to eat. Bri, he's going to be my new.
Is he coming back?
He's doing a podcast now. Doing Mo.
Did you say he's your favorite player?
But anybody that rubs their belly the way he does, he is like a grizzly bear. Bri, he's going to be my new favorite. But I know he's from Michigan.
You're going soft on me with these Michigan guys. You like Nico Collins. You like Mo Hurst.
I'm sorry, Brian.
Come aboard already.
So we have the core guys on defense. Brian, what are the core guys on offense? That's where I'm at.
Don't ask me that.
Because
I'd say Teller. Teller's not as old as you think he is.
No, and I get
Teller.
That.
I would still say Chubb. I would still say Njoku. And they would probably tell you, given the last couple weeks, I know it's a very small sample size, Cedric Tillman.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy has signed up for 3 years. So, I mean, for better or worse, we're kind of stuck with him.
Okay. So, no joke. Okay. Here's the problem I have. Because on defense, there was like, okay, well, probably Denzel. But the other guys you were kind of confident in. The only one confident guy you might be confident in is Teller. And maybe Njoku. That's where it is, Brian. Because one side of the ball, I think we're fine. I really do. I think the defensive side, you can fix the mistakes that they made on communication and all that stuff. That's just them having to focus, okay? But when the offensive side of the ball cannot get you more than 50 yards rushing a game, okay, Bri? Throwing you 7 interceptions, like, Bri, it floors me that how bad this offense is. And we thought after last year, watching Flacco run it and like, holy cow, we're getting 300-yard games and all this other stuff. Like, I dare to say this. Hold on. Before I say this, maybe it wasn't all Deshaun Watson. that hurt.
Well, and that's what we're going to find out. I mean, because like I said last week, he's been such a lightning rod. Every time the offense struggles, that's Deshaun Watson. Your quarterback's terrible. He's counting his money. All the cliches we've heard for several months. Now we're going to find out, is it really the quarterback? Now, I'm not, even whatever the Browns do from here on out, I'm not dissolving Deshaun from any blame or anything like that. It's clearly he was not good enough. End of discussion with Deshaun. Now we need to find out, well, is anybody on the offense, worth getting excited about? Or is this offense just doomed and the play caller sucked and the guys are not motivated and, they're breaking down physically. And so, we're going to get our answers. And, when you have quarterbacks like Jameis Winston, when you have quarterbacks like, dare I say, Joe Flacco, and I think Jameis is a poor man's Joe Flacco, because they're going to give you a lot of good and they're going to give you a lot of bad. And with Flacco last year, we saw a lot of good in the regular season, and we saw a lot of bad in the one playoff game. And so far with Jameis, we saw a lot of good in one game. We saw a lot of bad in the second game. So it's just going to be that roller coaster, that up and down. Flacco looked pretty bad this past week against, I forget who the Colts were playing, but I mean, that's kind of until you get your franchise quarterback and you're going through these backups, and, we can have a discussion maybe at a later date on it. If Baker Mayfield does make that jump to a franchise quarterback and you see consistently, but you're going to have these stretches of games where the quarterback looks really good for 4 or 5 games and the yeah, he threw a couple picks, but you still were able to overcome it because he made a couple really nice throws. And then you're going to have games where, he really cost us. His carelessness with the football really cost us. And so, it's really sometimes the stench of victory kind of washes over all the bad. We're talking ourselves into, is this team still a playoff contender after last week's game? Not thinking about, he did throw quite a bit of interceptions. They just didn't catch it. He did fumble the ball. We're not going to be concerned about that. Well, and then 1 week later, they start catching them. And I was joking I sat right next to a Chargers fan, a really cool guy from California, came up here. His wife's from Ohio. I was joking with him, we were counting even before, because I think James threw 3 interceptions in the second half. Mm-hmm. He threw a couple to the Chargers in the first half.
Oh yeah.
And I'd lean over to him and I'd go, that's one chance he had. And then he threw another one. There's 2 chances he had. And because he was the same deal. He's asking me about how'd you guys beat the Ravens? What did you guys do that was so special? I'm like, when we gave him a chance to take the ball away, they dropped it. And so Jameis is going to give you those opportunities. You just got to catch them. And so, they're defensive players, so they don't catch everything. So, this is the Jameis Winston experience. This is the roller coaster you're on. If they drop them, we're going to start talking ourselves into, this guy's pretty good. We love him. He's a lovable personality. So it's not like it's going to be hard to root for him.
Did you see his pregame speech on CBS football?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Jameis Winston is like PR gold when it comes to just one-liners and everything that comes out of his mouth. It just, it reminds me of Al Sharpton. God. All right. So Chris says, he goes, I think it's time for a reset. Keep a small core of young players, but anyone is available. Next 2 years, we guarantee money of 73 for Watson. It's going to hurt us anyways. That's the other thing. Now, Brian, assuming that this goes the way we think it's going to go, because I have a feeling that it's going to be a dumpster fire the rest of the way out. Are they going to take a quarterback first? Or are they going to wait later to get a quarterback? Because you realize that if they bring in a rookie quarterback that is picked in the top 5, that changes things here in Cleveland. That changes Deshaun. That changes Winston. That changes the whole culture in Cleveland. But do you think that the Browns and, Bri, do you think Andrew Berry will still be here to make that pick?
Well, that I honestly don't have a strong feeling. I think the last half of the season is really going to go a long way into determining Barry and Stefanski's future. But let me turn it back around on you, and then so paint me the picture of, it's August, it's September, we're coming up on week 1, the preseason's over. What's that quarterback room look like to you going into next year?
Okay. And this is, Phillips is going to just rehash this up.
This is trying to predict the future 10 months away.
Honestly, Bri, right now, what I think will happen is I believe that the Browns will draft a quarterback very high in the first round. Whatever quarterback they choose, I think that's going to happen, because I don't think DTR is the guy. If DTR was the guy, he would have shown you already. I don't think DTR is the guy. Jameis is not going to be here anymore after this season. And I believe that quarterback is going to start week 1, probably. And then somebody will magically have a hamstring issue and be away from the team as they bring in another veteran quarterback to back him up, because I have a feeling that somebody that will have the injury will not want to take a seat and be a backup like somebody else we know, like Cam Newton. I think that's what it's going to come down to, Bri. And that's going to be a decision that the Browns are going to have to make. And that's going to be the defining moment of the era of Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. And I think that's what it's going to be, because you cannot be that high in a draft, depending on who is there at the pick, Bri, because we've done it before. We took Myles Garrett instead of taking the quarterbacks. Okay. We've done it before, depending on who's there, but they are going to go probably after a quarterback. I don't see how they cannot go after a quarterback, especially being that high, because being that high and getting a quarterback is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's not that often you get up in those top picks. Well,
not if you're a Browns fan, once every 5 years.
But what do you think? What do you think will happen?
Right now, I'm leaning, and nobody's going to hear it, and nobody's going to hear it if it happens. I still talk about not saying Deshaun Watson deserves another opportunity, but the giant, huge commitment we've made to Deshaun Watson. Cleveland has never been married to a quarterback, never been married to an athlete professionally like the Browns are to Deshaun Watson. And we still have, if we have 1 year left, maybe it'd be easier to get out of it. We have 2 years left. So what I'm seeing is Sean comes back. It's, not really talked about a whole lot. I think if I had to predict now, I think he's your week 1 starter next year. And I know it's going to be a terrible PR move, but I think I'm with you. I think they do draft a guy. I don't think it's a guarantee they're going to draft someone in the first round. I think I would be very shocked if they didn't draft somebody in the first 3 rounds. Because, like you said, if they love one guy and they can't get up to get him, you don't want to settle for. We've seen so many teams in the last 5 years settle for guys.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, absolutely. Mac Jones. I think of this last year, even though he's doing well this year, Bo Nix, let's just take him because he's a quarterback. And we need a quarterback, so let's just draft this guy, and hopefully we can develop him.
Well, the bad thing is, though, Brian, like you said, it's a quarterback-driven league. If that quarterback's there and you pass on him the first time, they're going to pick him up. Somebody's going to pick him up and think that he is the king of all kings for your franchise. So you're going to be like, well, we should have drafted him when we had the chance. We didn't want to draft him at 15, but we would have drafted him at 32, or you know what I mean? Like at that point in time, if it's a quarterback, you're going to have to
That's why if you're bought into him, then you draft him at 15. But if you're just going to draft a quarterback in the first round for the sake of drafting a quarterback in the first round, you look at Mel Kiper's list and he's got these guys listed in his top 4. Let me go to the 5th guy and let's just take him because that's what everyone says. This is the 5th best quarterback. Let's just take him. I don't know if that's a great move. I think I feel much more comfortable taking a guy maybe in the 2nd round that you really like, maybe in the 3rd round, maybe trading up from the 2nd or 3rd round to get a guy that you really like. But yeah, so I think, well, yeah, we've done that how many times? So I think maybe right now the way I'm thinking is, and I understand it's an unpopular opinion, and I'm not saying this is what I want. I'm just saying I think with what you have invested in him, listen, let's be honest. The guys look terrible this year, absolutely terrible. One of the worst quarterbacks in the league. But you made this giant investment in this guy, and he's played 18 games. And now I do trust if you bring Stefanski back, and Stefanski goes to the ownership, and he says, "Listen, this guy's just an idiot. He's not processing anything. I can't work with him. The locker room hates him." Then yes, I trust Stefanski. If he's a strong no on Deshaun Watson, then you have to listen to your coach because it's just not going to get any better. So you have to move on. That's the end all be all. But if he still thinks, well, maybe we can finesse this and that, I think Sean starts. I think a popular saying in sports is, and I guess it's politically incorrect now, is inmates running the asylum. But more or less, the employees running the business. I feel is like what we've done with Deshaun over the last few years. Because, like I said, we've been more committed to Deshaun than we have any other player or coach ever in Cleveland. So you let him, call his shots, and you're molding everything around him. I think maybe going in next year, you say, listen, Deshaun, you're going to do it my way. This is how we're going to do it. This is your last chance to make it work. So you're going to go under center. I don't care if you don't like going under center. You're doing what we want you to do rather than us just calling shots to try. And you say, this is your last shot. We have this rookie quarterback that as soon as you start playing bad, we're throwing him in there. So let's see what you got. If he plays as terrible as he did this year, you give him the hook after 3 games or whatever. But I think, we see guys all the time get drafted high in the draft.
Yeah.
I think Drake May this past year got drafted 3 overall. He didn't start for a month. So I think it's kind of like that. He's a veteran. Deshaun's a veteran that's going to play. And if he continues to play well, then you just ride the hot hand. But as soon as he starts to struggle, now we have a backup plan that we didn't really have this year. We didn't have like a young quarterback that we could get excited about. I think next year you will.
See, the thing that worries me about that whole scenario, Bri, is okay. Let's say they go my scenario and draft a quarterback at, let's just say they get like the 6th pick, whatever. We'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
They draft a quarterback at 6th pick, and they go with Deshaun for those first few games. What scares the shit out of me is, are you wanting? Because at that point in time, that kid's going to have to learn from somebody in the NFL. Do you want it to be Deshaun Watson?
I think if you have strong enough coaches, it doesn't matter what quarterback is ahead of him for the first 6 games of hopefully his long career. I mean, it's not like you're tied to, okay, you have to follow Deshaun Watson around for the first 5 years of your career and learn from him.
But what I'm saying though is like, okay, well, he's not showing up for practice. Why do I have to show up for practice?
I mean,
it's the coach thing, but at that point in time,
it's like work. It's like work for all of us. We all have employees that we work with that don't show up to work or take naps while they're at work or, put forth a terrible effort. It doesn't mean that you have to do. It doesn't mean that you have to do exactly what they're doing. Eventually, you're going to have to find your own way. And if you do what the coaches tell you, not what the starting quarterback is doing, then you'll eventually have success. It's not like, you just have to follow whatever the starting quarterback does and emulate him.
Well, we are in a bye week next week, Brian. Do you want to have some fun next week and see if I can get a hold of a big man and a juice? Oh,
now we're talking. Absolutely. Juice might be MIA with his Cowboys the way they are right now.
Maybe bring in Chris and Justin with them, do a little 6 time.
More the merrier.
All right, we'll see what happens next week. Stay tuned for next week's bye week edition. But Bri, I'm done talking about the Browns. We're not our picks. We lost horrible. We had our hopes up, and then we got demolished. It wasn't good. But now I want to talk some food with you, buddy. Let's get off the Browns. Let's get into some fun stuff. Let's talk some food. You down for that?
Yep.
Let me go over here to our don't have it up yet, but it will be happening soon.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
It is time.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
More time.
And now it's
there. It is. Okay, I stopped it. All right. So Fat Boy Tuesday
tonight.
I'm sorry. The button. I didn't realize it played on loop. I thought it was one and done. Obviously, I was wrong.
I didn't hear it at all.
Oh, you didn't hear it all? Okay. Well, that's good then. Maybe it was just on my side. So for Fat Boy Tuesday, we're going to be talking crock-pot foods and soup. And it's one thing that both Brian and I like because, especially during the wintertime, we love soup, chili. Now, we're going to get in the comment of like chili a soup. Yeah, I believe chili's a soup. Even though I said it was its own entity, it's pretty much a soup. It's got a broth. It's got meat. It's got vegetables. It's a soup. But depending on if you're in Texas, though, because those people are monsters and don't put beans in their chili. We're getting into
really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But crockpot foods, bro, I want to bring up something to you because I actually made a crockpot dinner that I have not made yet for my family, and I enjoyed the crap out of it. And it was pretty much a Salisbury steak in a crockpot. And it was fantastic. Okay. And I will do it again. All you need is some hamburgers, frozen hamburgers. Grab however you want, 5, 6. We put in 6 in ours. You get a can of mushrooms, a can of cream of mushroom soup, and a packet of brown gravy, and mix all that up. I added onions to ours, but just to add flavor, and a little salt and pepper, Bri. Put it in the crock pot, let that cook for 6 hours. Dude, that came out wonderful. That gravy was fantastic on the mashed potatoes. It was one of the best crock pot meals I have made. So I want to give that out to everybody. Okay. But we always do. We make some great crock pot meals. I love throwing stuff in the crock pot and just let it cook all day. Another one of mine is kielbasa and pierogies. Love putting that in the crock pot and that cook all day. Another one, if you don't have time for a lot of things, shredded chicken. We do that. The Ohio shredded chicken, you've had it, Bri. It's not bad. But even it's just a quick, easy meal for your family, especially during the winter months when it gets dark out. You come home, you don't want to cook anything. Bri, do you have some of your favorite crockpot meals that you like? Besides your meatballs.
Man.
Your meatballs.
Yeah, I know. Right. That's what I'm thinking. But is that, I guess that is crockpot. I'm thinking when you talk about meals, I'm thinking like something you just throw a bunch of stuff into a crock pot, and then you just scoop it out, and you have your whole meal right there.
Oh yeah,
it's not just like but so like meatballs or mac and cheese or something. That's not an entire meal.
It could be if you add stuff to it.
Yeah, sure, I guess. Gosh, there was one I did a couple years ago. I don't do much with crock pots. But it was, I saw it maybe on social media or something. I want to try it. It was just like corkscrew noodles, so like a block of cream cheese, and then chicken and like Italian dressing. And you just pour it in there, all the stuff in there. You let it sit for like 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever. And then you just mix it all together. And it's almost like chicken Alfredo, kind of, with a little zestier with like the Italian dressing. So that was phenomenal. I teased my wife about her, and we had it like a couple weeks ago, the beef stew or whatever, pot roast or whatever the heck you want to call it.
Start putting stuff in the pot.
I laugh out. I've been seeing this one comedian, and he talks about crock pots, and how he had a crock pot problem during the pandemic. You get like 5 or 6 going and just like sit around all day and just let it cook. And like people would try it and they'd be like, "Oh man, these beans are delicious. What the heck did you do to them?" He's like, "I forgot about them." Like, that's how easy like crock pot. I mean, you get your motivation early in the morning, you throw everything together, and then you just sit around all day. And then, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot about it. Let me go see if it's done. Oh, it's done. Let me eat it now. So, I mean, endless possibilities with the crock pot. I can't even, if anybody has some, I'm always up for trying new stuff. I know maybe I don't have the most experienced palate, but anything, it's a lot of the same stuff between the chicken, between the beef, between the noodles, but always trying for something else.
Now, Bri, you love enchiladas, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. So here's one I'll give to you. So the Montgomery little burritos?
Taquitos?
No, frozen burritos. The little baby frozen.
Okay. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Frozen burritos. You throw some of those in the bottom of a crock pot, cover them with some enchilada sauce, some cheese, let them cook up in there, pour them out. There you go, enchiladas.
That's it, huh?
That's it, dude. It's so simple and some like the one thing I know we talk about beef stew and like just throwing shit in the crock pot. That's one of my favorite things is just getting a roast, throw it in there, some potatoes, some carrots, some French onion mix. little water, close the lid, and you got dinner when you get home. You don't have to worry about cooking. It's already made, especially if you have a family. It's so nice to just come home, be like, all right, dinner's already made. We could just sit down and eat and not have to do all the other necessity stuff of actually cooking. That's the one thing I love about crock pots.
Well, and I mean, another great thing about it is, at least for me, maybe not the same for you right now. It's just me and my wife. My little baby girl is not eating yet, so it's just the two of us. And as soon as you're done with it, you just take it, put the lid on, and you throw it in the fridge, and you got dinner for tomorrow. Maybe the next day, maybe 2 days of dinner left. So yeah, I mean,
that's why we do
minimal work for really good stuff. Yeah, for multiple days.
Like, honestly, Bride, the soup I am cooking tomorrow is cabbage, kielbasa, potatoes, onions, some chicken stock, salt and pepper, and some carrots, and maybe celery. And just, there you go. Hey, of course, Frank's Red Hot sauce for your fat guy. Chris chimed in with a great recipe. Garlic Parmesan chicken, 2 pounds chicken breasts, 8-ounce cream cheese, half cup Parmesan, a bottle of Buffalo Wild Wings garlic parm wing sauce. Cook for 3 to 4 hours, and then cook up 10 ounces of penne pasta, serve it in, and serve. Having it tonight. And he said, chuck roast with potatoes, carrots, French onion seasoning, and beef broth. Simmer all day. Yeah, it's just, and then, hey, little side mashed potatoes if you want to. If not, you got everything right there. It's just.
That first one sounds phenomenal. I'm trying that for sure.
All right, I'll send you the recipe. Chris, send Brian the recipe so he can make that, because I know
you man, Chris. Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, that's right. I've seen it at Walmart. I've never really bought it, but it's good stuff.
Oh yeah. And 3 to 4 hours, that's it. Okay. Yeah, we're good. That's
easy.
So good right now. The other thing, you can't go wrong with like chili cheese dip, buffalo chicken dip, everything else.
Oh, I mean, if we're talking dips, I had some queso dip. My aunt made some queso dip this weekend. That was phenomenal. Put it on the sloppy Joe. It was really good. She also makes bean dip. It's just a lot of melted cheese and stuff, and maybe add some ground beef or beans or whatever. And yeah, sign me up all day. I'd eat it every single day.
All right, Brad, before we switch over, what is your favorite soup? Now, I know we've done this a lot.
And
I've had a lot of people tell me like Italian wedding soup. When I think soup, I love like a tomato soup with and I know it's not grilled cheese, it's fried cheese or whatever the hell it is, whatever you guys want to call it, toasted cheese.
Grilled cheese? Who doesn't call it grilled cheese?
There's a lot of people that call it toasted cheese.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Must be Gen Zers.
Noodle, just send it to me. I will send it to you, Bri. I just got the ping for that recipe.
Nice. I'll go back and check it.
What soup do you actually like? I love a good hearty chicken noodle soup, especially during the fall.
Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, for me, it really depends on the mood I'm in. If I'm having a grilled cheese, absolutely tomato, maybe even like a tomato bisque or something like that. But chicken noodle, I mean, not all chicken noodle is great, but you get a good chicken noodle. It's hard to beat. I think of any of the cheese, beer cheese, I'm a fan of. Potatoes.
Baked potato soup.
Yeah, loaded potato soup. Even broccoli cheddar soup is really good. Yeah, those are all in my wheelhouse. Italian wedding soup, not a huge fan of. I'll eat it, but it doesn't do a whole lot for me. And obviously, a good chili. There's some bad chilies that I'm just like, I don't care for, but a good chili is...
like Texas chili?
I can't even explain what my perfect chili would be, but I know it when I have it.
Okay. Because I like if you're doing chili, you got to have beans. There's beans in there. There's onions. There's chunks of tomato. There's the beef. I cannot just do a chili with just meat. Like, it doesn't feel like chili to me with just a meat sauce.
No.
That feels like a spaghetti sauce to me.
I would agree. Well, So everything you said is on par for me, except the chunks of tomato. I can do without those. The beans that are like the beans that are like the size of my fist. No thanks. I'll take the small beans, but I've seen beans like size of little ones. Yeah, I don't need to be chewing on it for 30 seconds or
nothing. Chris said chicken noodle with egg noodle. Tomato soup.
Yep. I'm on board with that.
Max and Irma's tortilla soup is delish. All right. Well, he was a manager there, so he would know.
I haven't had Max and Irma's in a long time.
Now, Brian, how are you with peas?
They're fine. They don't do anything for me, but I'm not going to pick them out or anything if I see them in there.
No. What I'm going to tell you is Rick.
Oh, split pea soup?
Made a split pea soup with honey baked ham. And Brian, I'm not going to lie, it was a game changer. It was really good. Also, he makes andouille sausage with lentils, almost like a gumbo.
That's something I haven't dabbled in. Gumbo. I haven't dabbled in gumbo. Jambalaya, which I think of when I think of the soup Nazi or Newman. Never really had it though. Stuff like that.
My sister's in here now throwing up hearts when we're talking about tortilla soups and everything else. All right, Brian. Well, let's get off the soup. Let's get off of that. If you guys have any crock pot or soup recipes, send them to us here at Ham Illegal. I will take them all day. I love trying new stuff for my family. So please send them here. Love it. Brian, I'll send you that recipe here in a little bit. Let's do our trivia question of the night, which our dog was Aslan. And I have to bring up the pictures of Aslan right here. Beautiful puppy right there. The longest resident at City Dogs Cleveland. If you can, please adopt. If you cannot adopt, please volunteer and donate. God, that's a beautiful puppy. I might have to go adopt that puppy, Brian. My wife will hate me. She'll hate me like you wouldn't believe.
Easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
All right. So, Brian, I asked you, when was the last time the Cavaliers went 8-0?
Okay. So, like I said before, I think I'm in the ballpark. I don't know if I knows the year or not. I said 1976.
You got it right on the dot, buddy. 1976.
Knows it. All right.
1976 Cavs, who went 8-0, started before finishing 43-39 under Coach Bill Fitch.
40.
So,
okay, yeah, he's a good one.
Things can happen.
Kind of a disappointment. 43-39 after an 8-0 start. That's under 500 the rest of the way.
Hey, in this year's NBA, you make it to playoffs with that.
Oh, yeah, you sure do. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Brian, it is time for our top three, and you know what our top three is tonight. And I want your honest opinion, Brian.
Okay.
All right. Rank your confidence level with the Browns head coach, GM, and owner. Give me your top three. Most confident, number one. Least confident, 3.
Okay. Do you want me to go 3-1 or 1-3?
Let's go 3-1.
3-1. My number least 3.
Confident. What's your least
confident is Andrew Berry. He's made good moves. I don't want to say he's only made bad moves, but I look at all the draft picks and just how we treat. And I think it's something that's common with a lot of teams in the NFL. Like, would you rather have Isaiah McGuire for 4 years, or would you rather have Zadarius Smith for 8 games? Like, 'cause that's what we got, a 5th rounder for him. So I'd rather have the Pro Bowl type player rather than a guy who I don't even know if he's going to make the team or ever see the field.
Or at that time, Trey Hendrickson, who we had a chance to get, but we did not.
Yeah. So I mean, so he hasn't done a terrible job drafting. I just don't feel like he's done a good enough job. So I put him below average. Then my number 2 is the ownership, and maybe it's like a defense mechanism because I know we can't change it. I choose to believe and to be optimistic about them because I know we're stuck with them. So, and I feel like head coach, GM, it's almost like quarterback. Like you just keep taking swing after swing after swing until you find one that's good. And so that kind of leads me into the head coach. I feel like we got a good one. I'm not even 100%. I'm not like a Stefanski rah-rah guy to where I'm going to say he has to come back. Because, I mean, like, for this season, if we were playing the blame game out of all these 3, I'd have to put Stefanski at the top of that list, too. Like, I blame him the most for our struggles this year. Just the fact that he couldn't make it work. So, I mean, I say Stefanski is the most. I have the most confidence in him because I truly believe he's a smart guy. He's a football guy. My questioning with him is he a head coach? And we'll talk about it for several months here coming up. You know, we have Mike Vrabel in the building, and it's a copycat league, and I'll say this probably several times again over the next few months, but copycat league, I see what Dan Campbell is doing in Detroit and how he's getting his guys fired up, and he has one of the most physical teams in the league. And I think that's because of his personality as a head coach, his getting your ass kind of personality. We're going to be tough. I'm just going to scream at you until you are tough, until I break you. And I feel like Vrabel's kind of the same way. So, I mean, like, in all honesty, if I could move forward to next year and we have all the same guys in the building, I'd put Vrabel as the head coach. I'd put Stefanski as offensive coordinator. I'd put Jim Schwartz as defense coordinator. And I would feel really good about that because I think they're all very good at those roles. But that's really not that realistic. So, sorry, long-winded. You go.
No, because you know Stefanski won't take that step back.
He wouldn't. No, of course not. But that would be the best for the Browns for sure. That would be awesome. At least for 1 year. You know, then he could go find a head coaching job somewhere else.
All right. Number 3 for me, Bri, is right now ownership. It's where I'm least confident in right now. The reason why I say it is they meddle too much and they try to do too much with this team. And when I say that is the whole Baker thing and Deshaun thing, the whole we need to get a new coach in here. Hugh Jackson, the Hugh Jackson experiment that had to go on for what, 6 more games or 3 more games before they had to fire him. Like, you should have fired him after that year, but yep, you're going to give him, especially during Hard Knocks. Like, just take a step back, guys. Just take, and also the bum telling Jimmy to draft Johnny Manziel, even though I was happy about that draft. Number 2 for me right now, Bri, is Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry has hit a couple draft hits, but with Andrew, what scares me about Andrew Berry is I feel like this whole push for Deshaun Watson was Andrew Berry and the ownership. And then our head coach had to go along with it. The reason why I say that is after a playoff run with Joe Flacco, our whole offense changed. Running back coach, gone. Offensive line coach, moving to Tennessee. I get that one. Offense coordinator, gone. Well, we made it to the playoffs. Why are we getting rid of people? Why are we firing them if we got to the playoffs? Because we got Deshaun. I have a feeling that right now Kevin Stefanski's hands are tied with this team. And after winning 2 Coach of the Year awards, you should let him coach this team how he wants to coach this team. Just like I believe that play calling over to Ken Dorsey was an up above call. It was not a Kevin Stefanski call. I have more confidence in Kevin Stefanski from the things that I have seen him do with the shittiest quarterbacks in the NFL and win games. Hey, we won games with Tyrod Taylor. We've won games with, like, just go off the list of names that we won games with Kevin Stefanski, with just, obviously the man can coach. He truly can coach. And I don't understand why people say that he can't coach. But what I am seeing right now is there is a dysfunction, and he is supposed to be the head coach to bring everybody in. And I feel like he cannot bring in the people that he wants. I have a feeling that ownership and GM are colluding to tell him what he has to do. And if I was head coach, I'd be like, guys, I'm not doing this. This is my job here. This is how I pay the bills. You guys want me to do this? Seriously? You guys want me to start this guy? You guys want me to do this offensively? You want me to fire coaches that have been here for my entire time here and reset it? Yes, I understand the switch to Jim Schwartz was needed after Woods. But that was after a team that defense was obviously lacking. Our offense wasn't lacking with Van Pelt, but yet we had to bring in Ken Dorsey. Why did we have to bring in Ken Dorsey? Because of a quarterback that the GM and the ownership picked. I mean,
for lack of going another hour, I'll nod my head.
I'm done. No, I wanted to get it out, and now I'm done. We're good.
Not much. Sure.
All right. Just how I feel. I think Kevin Stefanski is getting the shaft right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I don't think he's a bad coach, and there's definitely part of me that would be like, man, if they could just let Kevin Stefanski pick his quarterback in this year's draft, develop him over the next couple years, I would be fascinated to see where it goes.
Like, how do we go from getting okay? So it's normally GM and then head coach. We went head coach and then GM. Like, why do we do it backwards?
I don't know if that's unique to the Browns. And I mean, we'd be talking about what a lot of people want to do if they do get rid of Stefanski and Barry. If they do that, a lot of fans, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, they want to bring in Mike Vrabel. So you'd be doing the same thing. Get Mike Vrabel as head coach, and then get the GM after that. So I don't know. I don't honestly think there's one way that you have to do it. I think we see guys that have success doing it both ways. It's just basically getting a good coach, getting a GM, however you do it, whether it's first or second. And sometimes it's just luck, really, to be honest.
Now, last question before we end the show, Bri. Doesn't that look bad on ownership if they fire 2 people they just re-signed extensions to?
I mean, if you're paying attention, that's professional sports. It happens all the time.
They just
does
did
it look bad?
August,
sure.
Brian.
I know, but does it look bad? Sure. But 2-15 record looks even worse. 2 is like you're just going to roll, like say, okay, yeah, we finished 2-15, we finished 4-13. We're just going to go to next year and we're going to build off that. We're going to do the old Kevin Stefanski. We need to play better. We need to coach better. I mean,
it sounds like
the owner.
I need to look at the tape.
putting up. The owner's putting up. From some accounts, we have the highest paid roster in the NFL. So the owner is doing his part. He says, "I'm giving you as much money as you asked for. I'm giving it all to you, and you're not making it work. So whose fault is that?"
The GM that built the team.
I mean, there's tons of blame to go around.
I know.
That's the frustrating part. Nobody's without blame.
All right, let's get out of here so you can go back to Maddie. By the way, I love the fall pictures of Maddie. Pumpkin and all was amazing. All
Christmas pictures.
Oh, I can't wait for Christmas. Are you guys dressing up together as Christmas pictures?
No, that's what it was. That's what those were. Her picture. Oh, are you talking about the trick or treat pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. I thought no. They're so we got Christmas pictures done this weekend with my cousin's wife, and I should shout her out. I guess Nicolette Photography. She does an unbelievable job. No, she posted a picture of Madison. She was dressed up in her gear, her Christmas dress and sweater and bow, and sitting by a little Santa mailbox. So I think my wife shared it on social media yesterday. So yeah,
because the one I saw,
big old smile on her face,
was her with the pumpkins. And that's what the last one I saw.
Oh, was that the one where I cut some holes? Apparently, this is a trend. You cut holes in a pumpkin, and you stick your kid in the pumpkin, and their legs are sticking out. Oh, you saw that one?
I did.
Yeah.
Is that a trend?
I guess. I mean, so much so that I was going to throw the pumpkin away, and my wife's like, "No, I got somebody coming over to get it." I'm like, oh, somebody else wants a pumpkin that I carved holes into? All right. So yeah, perfect. Pass it down the line.
All right. Tune in next week. We might have some guests on the show next week. We might not. We'll see what happens. I'll make some phone calls, Brian. It would be bi-week Browns.
It'd be fun.
We want to thank everybody for watching tonight. We got 158 right in here right now. Thank you guys for watching. Please go like, subscribe. Also, show is going to go audio. Normally after this, we'll put it out on Spotify and also iHeart Media. So go check it out on iHeart. Bri, God bless him.
Yep. God bless him. God bless America.
All right. We're Legal Handle Face. We're definitely uncorked, unloaded, and we want to thank our troops and first responders. I always forget that one, Bri. Thank our troops and first responders and everybody that voted today. Thank you for voting. We're not going to get political on this because I'm pretty sure Brian and I are on the same page political wise, but we're not going to make you guys vote the way
you don't know me. What do you know?
I know you, Bri. I know you. Actually, I don't. I know the way my house.
Okay, maybe next week. Maybe next week we can get into a political debate.
Bri, I don't know if we. All right, we'll have to make that a rated R version.
No, it would probably be us agreeing on a lot of it.
It probably would be.
And sounding very, very old. Damn Gen Zers. What are you doing? You don't know how to live. Back in my time, we did it right.
What the hell is Riz, son? Tell me what Riz is. I don't know what Riz is. All right.
I still don't understand bet. I think I've heard it explained like 5 times. I still don't understand bet.
So I heard somebody say,
"Oh no!"
All right,
we're at 100. We're an hour and 28 minutes. We don't have a slang discussion in us here.
Oh, you stop it. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good night. See ya.